The US president says the time for negotiating a political solution to the North Korean missile crisis is over. But Donald Trump's tough rhetoric appears to undermine senior members of his own administration, who say there's still room for diplomacy. Chief Foreign Correspondent Philip Williams reports from Washington.
Donald Trump has had enough of North Korea, that is, and he made it clear in a tweet there'll be no negotiations with Pyongyang. The US has been talking to North Korea and paying them extortion money for 25 years. Talking is not the answer, he said. The tough rhetoric comes after the latest North Korean missile flew over northern Japan, earning Kim Jong-un international condemnation. But as the president appeared to declare diplomacy with North Korea dead, his defence secretary, James Mattis, was exhuming it.
We're never out of diplomatic solutions. We continue to work together, and the minister and I share a responsibility to provide for the protection of our nations, our populations, and our interests.
The defence secretary was not the only one of Donald Trump's colleagues left behind in his Twitter trail. The US envoy to a disarmament conference in Geneva, Robert Wood, said he hadn't seen the tweet, but knew the president had been frustrated with North Korea for years.
And that's why he's put in place this new mechanism that we are now trying to put together, which is to further isolate North Korea.
There's been no let-up in the bellicose language coming from the regime in Pyongyang.
If the US fails to act with discretion and persists in its reckless attempts to stifle the DPRK, we, DPRK, will not hesitate to take further tougher countermeasures.
Former Prime Minister John Howard says the American-sponsored UN sanctions supported by Russia and China are a major achievement as the Trump administration attempts to rein in Kim Jong-un.
He's evil, and I don't see him behaving in a rational fashion, because it's clearly not in the interest of his country to provoke and confront the world. It's a poor country.
If negotiations really aren't a possibility, that leaves few options other than a military response, with the risk of a full-scale war that could kill millions of people. Philip Williams, ABC News, Washington.